Hallo und willkommen zurück zu Folge 25 von If My Heart Had Wings. In der letzten Folge haben unsere Club-Members ein bisschen Pause gemacht und eine Farewell-Party für Amane geschmissen und sich dann darauf vorbereitet, ihre Testflights wieder aufzunehmen, weil die Winch nun wieder heil ist. Ich musste gerade selbst erst nochmal nachschauen, was eigentlich passiert ist, weil für mich ist die letzte Aufnahme 2 Monate her. Naja, schauen wir, wie es weitergeht. The old garage, built in a quiet place behind the school building. Erstmal wieder lernen, welche Taste man drückt zum Weitermachen. Oh, neue Musik, oder? It seemed that nobody was using it or looking after it. I thought there might be something interesting in there, so I sneaked inside. The first time I saw it, I just thought there was some weird object in there, and it didn't really pique my interest. The thing that changed everything was finding that photo. Hidden carefully inside a notebook, there was a photograph of incredibly pretty clouds. Could such a beautiful sky really exist? Ist das der Fuji im Hintergrund? I almost felt like asking myself this. That's how great it was. But something was off. What's with this photo? Ah, I got it! Yes, this photo was taken from above the clouds. That's what was written in the notebook on the pages between the hidden photo. The pages between the hidden photo? Was? What great luck! We could, by pure chance, fly above the morning glory that has suddenly appeared above Kasegaura. You might even call that a miracle. It was a wonderful experience. A morning glory? They flew? As I continued reading this notebook, or rather the flight log, I became more and more absorbed in it. This photo of the clouds was taken by people who were using this garage. They flew high above the clouds in an aircraft called a glider. For this glider, that has no engine, to fly as high as above the clouds by only using the wind. I wonder how does it feel to soar through the sky and fly. To fly above that beautiful passage of clouds. While thinking about that, I made up my mind. I will repair the abandoned glider and head beyond the clouds. The next day I immediately revealed my great plan to my best friend. The sun's starting to set. Shall we call it a day? Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, an welcher Stelle wir gerade sind, was hier gerade passiert, weil ich etwas noch nicht mehr aufgenommen habe. Agea said that as I was taking a break after returning from a flight. Winch ist wieder heil. Ist das hier die Folge nach der Swimsuit-Episode? Oh Gott. Couldn't we fly one more time? We still have a bit of time before it gets completely dark. There are no streetlights around here, so it'll be pretty dark even before the sun completely sets. That would make landing dangerous. She's right. Even when we came back just now, it was hard to see the runway and my sense of distance was messed up. So like I said, that's it for today. Kotori, let's get going. Agea called Kotori on her cell phone. Currently, Kotori was by the winch. Können die nicht rufen? Ey, was ist das mit der Entfernung? So we're done for today? Yeah, though the perfect wind for training has just started blowing. It can't be helped. We shouldn't cause any accidents. Not again, you mean? A senpai looked towards the eastern sky as she spoke. There's the orange sunset, the same as always. Looks like it didn't appear. The sign. The sky showed that nothing would happen tomorrow morning. Would? Okay. I saw her face as she was gazing into the distance. It seemed filled with impatience. They waiting for the morning glory, or what? Since the winch came back, every day we've been doing as many test flights as possible. The glider needed some adjustments, but the main objective was Amane Senpai's and my flight training. You sent it quite far today. What altitude was that? Sprechen schwierig. Around 600 meters. Wow, that's a new record. You've really got the hang of it, haven't you? Yeah, but riding on the thermals is still pretty difficult. Thermals are ascending currents formed by air heated by the Earth's surface. They occur more often above areas covered in soil, asphalt, etc., where the temperature rises easily. By catching these thermals and riding on them, we can increase our altitude. However, the thing we're chasing is invisible wind. It's not easy to catch. Also, after we successfully get on it, the wind is still unpredictable. Its flow and strength are unstable and it may suddenly disappear. However, if we don't learn how to manage them well, we won't be able to reach the passage of clouds that stretches high in the sky. Ich habe schon häufiger so gedacht, wenn ich nicht schon meinen Weg gefunden hätte, es hätte echt cool sein können, einfach so Pilot zu werden. Andererseits, ja, okay, was machst du als Pilot? So Lufthansa oder so, was ist richtig Lufthansa? Also Passagierflugzeuge fliegen ist vielleicht ein bisschen lame und eher anstrengend. Und so, keine Ahnung, ob man Flugzeuge bei der Bundeswehr fliegen möchte oder so. Naja, anyway. However, if we don't learn how to manage them well, we won't be able to reach the passage of clouds that stretches high in the sky. Wie hoch fliegen Wolken eigentlich? Frage ich mich dabei, ich habe keine Ahnung. Amane-senpai was hanging her head with a blank expression. She was poking her pasta with a fork, but she didn't eat one bit. Wer macht sowas? Also wenn ich mein Essen nicht esse, dann sitze ich halt davon, mache nichts, aber dann stattdessen die Gabel in die Hand nehmen und da rumpieksen, hä? You don't like it? Dude, that's not it? No, that's not it. Thanks. I'm just thinking a bit. She smiled faintly and poked her pasta again. I exchanged glances with Ageha and shrugged my shoulders. Besides senpai was Kotori, absorbed in reading the book that she borrowed from the library. Why don't you read after you finish eating? Yeah... It's no good, she's not listening as expected. Liest du Begleiter? Kotori was like this for quite a while. She has been researching about the morning glory. Okay, close enough. Ever since we started the test flights, Kotori didn't have anything to do except operating the winch since she was disabled. Also sie wollte doch mitfliegen, oder nicht? Was ist daraus geworden? Das wurde doch nur unterbrochen, weil die Winch kaputt gegangen ist, oder nicht? That's why she seems to think that she's useless. Sad. She was really involved in the construction of the main wings, so that's not true at all. Yeah, then tell her. But thanks to this, we have found out something important. A few days ago, after the farewell party. Stimmt, die Party hatten sie zuletzt, oder? Also ich komme nicht damit klar, wie es einfach aussieht, dass sie keine Arme hat, so. Jedes Mal, wenn Hibari auftaucht, denke ich so, oh, something feels wrong. Warum verschränkt sie die so hinterm Rücken? This is about the natural phenomenon that occurs in Berkey Town, Australia. Pestered by Kotori, Hibari-san translated the English book. It's a book about morning glory. According to it, the clouds that appear above Australia can have a total length of around 1,000 kilometers. It doesn't have to be just one cloud, many can appear at the same time. When the sun rises and the air temperature increases, these clouds disappear. There's only around 2 hours until then. For the locals, this is a sign of rain. It's said that stormy winds are blowing violently underneath these clouds. The altitude of such clouds is about 1 or 2 kilometers. Okay, da haben wir das mit der Höhe. If you can ride the updrafts well, then it is possible to reach those altitudes. It says that this is caused by a collision of the sea breeze and the land breeze at the weather front. At night the air cools down, so the currents flow downwards. Then the inversion layer. When we understand the mechanism, it will be easier to predict, but the terrain and weather conditions differ too much between Kasagouda and Australia. Between this little valley and this continent. Netter Vergleich. Aren't there any signs so it would be easier to understand? Something like that is described right here. Hibari-san translated and read out aloud. When strong moist winds blow from the north and the eastern sky turns purple at dusk. You mean literally any... Was? Das hört sich an wie jeder Sonnenuntergang jemals so. Also wenn halt keine Wolken davor sind und so, hä? It says that if water droplets appear on a fridge at a pub, it can occur the next day. On a fridge at a pub? Wie oddly specific ist das bitte? Warum in einem Pub? What? Is there a pub anywhere around here? Calm down, this is Australia we're talking about. Ah, okay. Dann war das halt eine lustige, haha, local reference. When the air temperature is low and humidity is high in the morning, there's a high chance it will occur. That's what it says. Ja gut, das hört sich jetzt nicht so spezifisch an, ehrlich gesagt. When the air temperature is low, humidity is high. At dusk on the previous day, the eastern sky was purple, huh? Wait a second. Excited, Kotori opened an old notebook. It's a flight log written by the old members. Here, look at this. Kotori opened it to the page that described the day before that photograph was taken. In other words, the day before the morning glory occurred. It seems that they also did a test flight on that day and detailed information about weather conditions were recorded in the flight log. Da sind sie nicht vorher drauf gekommen zu gucken. When they did the test around 4 p.m., the air temperature was 23 Celsius. That's pretty low for a midsummer day. When the air temperature is low, das, also, nicht ganz, was ich mir darunter vorstelle, aber okay. It says, after that a strong wind blew from the direction of the sunset. It became quite chilly. This was written in the remarks column. They went through the effort of writing it, so the change in the air temperature must have been quite significant. About the color of the sky, it doesn't say anything. The important thing is that this log was written without the knowledge the morning glory would occur on the next day. They wrote this without realizing that this was one of its signs. This is a pretty big hint, isn't it? Yeah, thanks, Oni-chan. You're welcome. Ich finde das so weird, dass sie so lachen halt so oder kichern, immer mit so Fs schreiben, so fufu, ha, wer sagt das so? Also, ich weiß, ja, Onomatopoetics, aber still, die soll doch irgendwie ein bisschen nah zumindest an dem Geräusch dran sein, oder nicht? Since then, Kotori has been checking the weather forecasts constantly. She's also reading books related to weather as if she was trying to become a weather forecaster or something. To summarize, there are 3 signs that indicate the morning glory may appear. 1. On the day before, a moist, strong wind blows and the humidity is high enough for water droplets to appear on a fridge in a pub. Was ist mit fridges outside of pubs? Hä? 2. At dusk on the day before, the eastern sky turns purple. 3. It gets much colder than most summer days. Perhaps this is all complete nonsense, but that's all the information we have. Hey Aoi, whose turn is it today? Turn with what? I'm not sure. We decided that every day we'll take turns getting up before dawn to check the sky for these clouds. Ah, okay. Even if there aren't any signs the day before. Whose turn is it today? Oh, it's time to save! Das wäre so eine Stelle, wenn ich kehren würde, ich wüsste nicht... ich wüsste nicht, was man da wählen soll. Also, was soll diese Entscheidung aussagen? Darf ich jetzt jemanden mobben, dass er früh aufstehen muss? Vor allem eine der Entscheidungen müsste ja 100%ig falsch sein, weil die Person heute schon dran war. So. Zumindest das sollte man ja wissen. Naja. Time for the third save. Ja, ne? Gehen wir mal die No-Route weiter, glaube ich. It's my turn. Ah, ich hab Leertaste gedrückt, damit. I see, so it's you, Aoi. Warum fragt man bei sowas nochmal nach? Well then, I'd better quickly have a bath and go to bed then. Yo. If the morning glory does occur, we'd have to fly right away. That's why we left the glider on the runway and just covered it with a sheet. Even if it doesn't occur, we can still start the test flights early in the morning. It's a little rough, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain anytime soon, so I have no excuses. Die haben immer noch Summer Break, oder? There's no way we can let this 1 in a million chance pass us by. Stifling my yawn, I watched the sky just before daybreak. Today was my turn to watch it. We had to observe the sky just before dawn to check for signs of the morning glory. I'm sleepy. But last night I couldn't fall asleep until the usual time, so I didn't get enough sleep. I came outside after what only amounted to a short nap. That's why I was so sleepy. It's no good. If I stay still like this, I'll fall asleep. I'll try moving my body a little. So Menschen, die halt einfach einschlafen, ohne es zu wollen, finde ich weird. Ich könnte halt niemals einfach so einschlafen. Ich schlaf nur ein, wenn ich möchte. That's not a good thing, actually. Weil ich aber generell schlecht einschlafe. Egal. Asa? During my stroll, I went as far as the hill where the windmills are lined up. Oh yeah, coming in. As usual, there was nothing strange about the sky. Of course, there was no one on the hill. The lonely windmills were turning. Just you wait. I spent a while standing there, staring blankly at the sky. It will be dawn soon. Ich finde so gut. Diese Punkte lese ich so hart wie You missed your chance on the choice before. I'll be returning slowly. Aha! Now if I didn't saw that coming. Along the way I passed by two girls. Going for a stroll this early in the morning? That's unusual. But I felt like I've seen them before. Was it just my imagination? Aber es war noch nicht, dass es Zwillinge sind, oder? Yodo und Asa. Well, whatever. Anyway, I'm heading back. Nein? Hä? Was? Ich dachte, er hat es gerade einfach voll verpasst, dass nichts passiert, weil ich irgendwelche falschen Entscheidungen getroffen habe, hä? It really feels nice to go for a stroll in the morning. Really? If we're just walking out and see what we have to do so early in the morning. Aber ist jetzt auf einmal die Sonne hoch. Well, you didn't have to come with me. If you went out for a morning stroll all by yourself, I worry that you'd get kidnapped. Hey, I'm not that hopeless. I wonder... Anyway, it feels nice to go for a stroll in the morning. You already said that. There's nobody here. The air is fresh. It's like stepping into another world. That's why I like morning strolls. This is the same world, Nathan. I know that. I know, but it still feels nice. This is why that sometimes when I lose sight of myself, I like to walk around like this in the morning scenery. Sehr deep. I see. That sounds like you indeed. Okay. Yoru-chan, you're not jogging today? Ja, könnt ihr bitte die Namen packen? Ich kann nicht verfolgen, wer gerade spricht von den beiden. From time to time I feel like going for a walk with you. Well, there's nothing wrong with taking a break. Really? Yeah. Ja. Er hat wirklich einfach... Nice. Nicht passiert. I'm hungry. Everyone is still out. They sure are working hard. Is there anything in the fridge? Du. Also nicht du, sondern DEW. There's some chicken. I need duck. Quack quack. Hi, Head Senpai. What, are you hungry too? Quack quack quack. It's not food you're after. Then it's a bath. Quack. I see, I see. It's quite cold today. I'll be fine even if I'll be fine even if I wear more than just underwear. No more than just underwear? Dann würde das mir so... Quack. Yes, yes, your bath. Let's go. Quack. Looks like it feels nice. I'll take a shower later too. Quack, quack, quack. Hey, Head Senpai, what's that? Quack. Look, the sky is. Hat Ahoy das einfach nicht mitbekommen? Ach nee, warte, das sollte am Stimmt, das ist der Vorabend gerade, richtig? Doesn't it seem faintly purple? The direction is east, which means the eastern sky was bluish purple. We stopped tidying up after finishing flight training for the day and gazed at the eastern sky. Is this a sign? This was the long-awaited moment, but we were cautious not to get our hopes up yet. I'm not sure, but it didn't have that color until now. Well, I wonder. Not since we started paying attention to it, that's for sure. The air temperature is 25 degrees centigrade. That's 3 degrees lower than yesterday. Degrees centigrade? Was ist centigrade? Soll das Celsius sein einfach? The humidity increased a little, and there's a breeze too. This could be it. Das hört sich an, als würdet ihr einfach nur uns Straws, ich weiß nicht, wie das Sprichwort geht. We all looked at Amane-senpai. Senpai was gazing at the eastern sky. Ich denke jedes Mal, ich sollte irgendwas sagen, wenn diese 3 Punkte kommen, aber... Was? She was motionless and silent. It was as if she was making sure this phenomenon that could be our sign was real. Or as if she was praying. Amane-chan! Yeah? It might occur tomorrow morning. There were 2 days left of the summer holidays. This was the time limit for Amane-senpai's activities with the soaring club. Oof. Senpai? I know. Yeah, it'll be alright. I poked Kotori and whispered to her. At times like this, it's Vice President's turn, right? Huh? You're right. Listen up, everyone. The morning glory will definitely appear tomorrow morning. Let's believe in this. Don't get your hopes up. That's why, regardless of whose turn it is, today we will all wake up before dawn and prepare for flight. Motivation. Alright. Aber der Senpai sieht nicht begeistert aus. Ich sag jetzt auch schon Senpai automatisch. Es ist so eine set phrase. You can't just say Amane. 4 a.m. Don't make too much noise. Kanako-san is still sleeping. Roger. Roger! Ah! Kotori! Sorry. We got up at the time when a person on duty usually would and left the dormitory carrying our things. There's still 1 hour before the sunrise. We have to complete our launch preparations before then. It's quite cold, isn't it? It's a little chilly when you're lightly dressed. Senpai, will you be alright in those clothes? Yeah, I'll be fine. Also sie sieht mehr angezogen aus als Kotori. Wobei auch nicht viel. Look alive, Amane-chan. Soon you'll be flying above the clouds. Kriegt ihr das denn mittlerweile hin? Ihr habt doch bisher nur 600 Meter geschafft, oder? Kotori, not so loud. Ageha, how's the sky? I'm not sure. The sky was covered in darkness. With the naked eye, we couldn't confirm whether there were any clouds or not. Anyway, hurry up. If we're too slow, we won't make it for dawn. Tension, excitement. When we reached the runway, we immediately began setting up. Right aileron. Okay. Left aileron. No problems. Next is the elevator. When I had a spare moment, I ate a rice ball that I had made yesterday evening. Jelly donuts in der translation, by the way. Also in der nicht Retranslation Patch Version. I had to do something about my empty stomach. Warte, nee, nicht Jelly Donuts, was rede ich da? Hamburger oder so. Jelly Donuts war das Pokémon wie. Ups. Amane-chan, what's gotten into you just now? Sorry, it's nothing really. It'll be fine. I'm sure everything will go up. Will go well. Here, have a rice ball and chin up. Kann man chin up sagen? Oder sollte das cheer up heißen? Yeah, thanks. Aoi, will you manage? I don't know. In the training I finally figured out how to catch the thermals. The highest we've flown during practice has been 600 meters, yeah, jetzt for Doppelmile. We won't be able to reach the morning glory at altitudes like that. Suddenly a strong wind blew. Aikun, deploy the dive brakes. Got it. Even when the glider's on the ground, if wind hits the main wings, it will generate lift. With winds this strong, if we're careless, the aircraft might get blown away. That's why we're resorting to the equipment that's used to reduce the lift during landing. Even if the wind hits it, it will be fine as long as only a little lift is generated. It has suddenly become very windy. Maybe it's the influence of the morning glory. Ich frage mich, ob das absichtlich so... Nein, also, ja, keine Ahnung. Ich kann nicht erkennen, ob die einfach nur darauf baiten wollen und jetzt alle enttäuscht werden oder nicht. In the book it was written that when this phenomenon occurs in Berkeley Town, Australia, raging winds are blowing beneath the clouds. Ey, wie jedes Mal. Ich nehme einmal die Hand von der Tastatur, jedes Mal, wenn ich das nächste Mal rangehe, drücke ich erstmal Leertaste. It'll be a crosswind launch. Crosswind launch. What's that? Of course, with a strong wind from the side, the glider will be blown away. That's why special technique will be necessary to take off. We haven't practiced it much, but we should manage somehow. Stimmt, der Runway geht natürlich nur in eine Richtung, ne? Look, it's dawning. Cloudsy clouds? The eastern sky brightened faintly. And with it the state of the sky became clear. So, the clouds are over there. Diese Musik erinnert mich immer an dieses... Ich weiß gar nicht was. Naja, egal. On a dimly lit sky still before the dawn, a line of clouds has appeared. Have appeared. Has appeared? A line of clouds has appeared. Nicht have. Ui. Da da da. What could be called morning glory was thin and delicate. It looked like it could disappear any moment. Kotori, prepare for launch! Roger! Everyone quickly got into position. Amane-senpai and I got into our seats in the cockpit. Boah, kriegen wir wieder... Doch nicht. The crosswind is really strong, Aikun. Yes, I used full rudder from the start. I firmly stepped onto the rudder pedal, even though we weren't moving yet. When the crosswind hits the glider during takeoff, its nose will turn into the wind. This is called the weather vane effect. By steering in the opposite direction using the rudder, we'll be able to negate that effect. However, because the rudder has almost no effect until we pick up speed, we need to use a full rudder before launch and gradually release it as we accelerate. This is the first time we've taken off with such strong crosswind. With such strong crosswind. So. This will be like performing without a rehearsal, but we have no choice. Runway is clear. Ageha let us know that there were no obstacles on the runway. Then she moved around to the side of the glider and lifted up the left wing, a little higher than usual. The wind is blowing from the front right direction. If the wings were level during takeoff, the wind from the side would slip under the right wing, messing up the balance. Hence, we need to launch with the right wing a little lower to stop the crosswind from going under it. Ich finde immer krass, wie detailliert das ist. Hat einfach irgendjemand, der so Glider-Fan ist, sich gedacht so, yo, ich schreibe ein Visual Novel über... Ja. To maintain the bank angle where Ageha is tilting it, I move the control stick to the right to manipulate the ailerons. Takeoff preparations complete. Here we go, Senpai. Yeah. Senpai replied nervously. I put my thumbs up, sending the signal to Ageha outside. Takeoff preparations complete. Kotori, launch! Clang! The moment Ageha gave the signal, the winch started up without delay. Yeah! Ihr könnt nicht sehen, wie ich gerade headbange. The glider steadily accelerated. I pulled back the control stick. I'm counting on you, Aoi! The glider flew into the air. Ageha was holding up the wing and running with us was left behind. Ugh. The glider shook like crazy when it was hit by a crosswind. Are you alright, Aoi-kun? Amane-chan? We're fine. I leveled it out. Somehow we're alright. Roger. As we accelerated, the aileron started working and we were able to keep the fuselage banked against the crosswind. Using the rudder, I turned the nose towards the direction of the incoming wind. Without the crosswind, the glider steadily raced into the sky. Our airspeed is really fast. Our rate of climb is much higher than usual. Even if it looks like we're flying with the same speed, when the headwind is strong, the relative speed of the wind hitting the glider is different. This is the airspeed. When the airspeed is high, the lift increases, rising the glider up. Today, the wind was strong. The force of the winch pulling us was competing with the force of the main wings lifting us up, so the fuselage was shaking. Releasing. Just before passing both Kotori was operating the winch, I released the towing rope. Whoosh. Freed from the force that was holding us down, the glider was suddenly thrown up into the air. I immediately turned around to check if the towing rope had been detached. Release confirmed. The takeoff is successful. Okay. I checked the altitude on the altimeter. We were currently 300 meters above the ground. I looked up to the sky above. Outside the dome-shaped canopy, all I could see was sky. A sky changing from night to morning. Indigo, orange, pale yellow, purple. A complex image painted by the rising sun was spread as far as the eye could see. And there in the middle, one long straight line of clouds stretched out. Amazing. Completely absorbed by it, I fixed my eyes on this spectacle for a moment. What are those clouds? Oh, you're right, what are they? Those are very unusual clouds. They look as if someone painted them with a brush. So das J und A, okay. Warum steht da diesmal Little Girl A und B statt Fragezeichen? Außerdem kennen wir doch deren Namen schon. If that was the case, it wasn't a skilled painter. That's not true. I think they're really pretty. It's a good painting. Ha, as always, you praise anything. Hey, Ne-san, over there. Something is flying? Could it be the glider that we saw before? What are they doing so early in the morning, I wonder? They're flying, aren't they? You tell me. I can see that. That's not what I mean. Then aren't they trying to go over there? Where? There, to those clouds. It's so pretty. Yeah. It's so marvelous. I wonder how something like that is even possible. It really is like a miracle. But isn't it a bit different compared to that photo? Yeah. Maybe we'll get bigger? Who knows? Where are Aoi-kun and Amane-senpai? Wait a sec, I'll look through the binoculars. There they are. Where? Du benutzt doch nicht Ferngläser, um etwas zu finden, oder? Überblick so und dann sich genauer anzuschauen, Fernglas, hä? There, above the lake. It glittered just now. Whoa. Holding the control stick tightly, I somehow managed to maintain our altitude. Nicht maintain, go higher, my dude. No. The airflow was pretty damn rough. It's taking everything I've got just to keep our altitude. On days when the airflow was calm, I only had to hold the control stick lightly. However, in stormy skies like this, the glider was constantly shaking and I didn't know when it could be hit with a sudden gust. I had to concentrate solely on the wind that was hitting the fuselage. Are you alright, Aoi-kun? I'm fine. More importantly, senpai, could you search for some spots where thermals are likely to appear? Understood. Senpai looked outside the canopy to search for places where thermals may occur. Clouds are used as markers to find thermals. They are formed when updrafts containing moisture are cooled high in the sky. Therefore, thermals are usually below them. I flew based on guesswork while keeping an eye on the variometer? What's that? Okay, thanks. The variometer is one of the meters in the glider. It tells us about the rising descending rate based on changes in atmospheric pressure. A sudden reaction of the variometer can mean that we've entered the thermal without realizing it. No reaction, huh? The reaction from the variometer was slow. The glider was gradually descending. Found it! A cloud! Senpai shouted from the front seat. Where? 4 o'clock. Roger. I stepped on the rudder pedal as I pulled the control stick to the right and the glider turned. The rudder feels heavy. When the ailerons and the rudder take strong wind, steering them becomes heavier, but in such conditions their effect becomes stronger as well. Is that it? The small cloud Senpai had found entered my field of vision. It was a thin, long cloud. Please work. With that wish, I flew under the cloud. We went forward for a while, but we didn't fly into anything resembling a thermal. After all, we can't see them, so we don't really know if they are there or not. Where is it? I turned once to face towards a different area, and then... Whoosh! Whoa! Suddenly the left wing lifted up, tilting the aircraft. Aikun, right now! Yes, I know. This wasn't the feeling of being shaken by a crosswind. A rising thermal grazed the wings. I immediately turned the rudder to the left. The variometer reacted. The glider was rising. We've entered a thermal. When we confirmed this, I continued turning the glider. Thermals are like a pillar, stretching from the ground up through the atmosphere. In most cases, the strongest lift is in the central part, known as the core. Normally it gets gradually weaker the farther away from the center you go. If you want to climb higher, you have to get as close to the core of the thermals as possible. I turned the glider while searching for the core. The variometer told us that our rate of climb is increasing. We were gradually getting closer to the core. Looks like we've entered the core, said Senpai as she looked at the meter. I tried to keep the glider circling in the same area as much as possible to keep rising on the core of the thermal. Alright, we're climbing. Through the seat I felt that the glider was ascending. It's jokingly called the ass meter, but feeling all sorts of G-forces transmitted through the seat is an important sensation when piloting a glider. That's because things that inform you of the glider's reactions the quickest aren't the meters but your body and the seat that is directly connected with it. Not wanting to lose the response I was getting, I paid close attention while operating the controls. They're climbing! Looks like they successfully got on a thermal. Aikun! Aikun! Aikun is busy right now. Amane-chan, it looks like it's going well. Yeah, right now we are rising on a thermal. Our altitude is reaching 500 meters. Alright. It seems like the airflow is getting rough though. How is it up there? It's pretty rough, but it's alright. Aikun is doing his best. It seems like everything is going well. Keep it up! Go above the clouds! We really want to do that, but... Is something wrong? We'd rise a little higher and leave this thermal. Eh? Why? The lift is weak and our climb rate is slow. At this rate we won't make it in time. We won't be able to rise any higher here. The G-forces that felt so strong at first were gradually getting weaker. Even if we'd risen to a certain extent, now we were only maintaining the current altitude. If we stay here like this, the thermal might grow and we might get a stronger lift. Well, if we consider the time, it's very likely that this will happen. Thermals are created because the sunlight warms up the earth quicker than the air. Next, heat of the ground warms up the air above it, creating the updraft. Since last evening was so cool, when the morning sun hits the earth, stronger and stronger thermals will start rising. But we didn't have time for that. Sorry, ich muss was trinken kurz. Ich kriege immer so schnell trockenen Hals hier If we wait a little longer after the sun comes up, the morning glory will disappear. We're leaving this thermal. Understood. As we gazed at the morning glory still so far away in the sky, we flew out of the thermal. We've traveled pretty far, haven't we? Thermals are often thought to extend up through the air like a vertical pillar, but in reality they don't stretch straight up. Just like the smoke is blown by the wind, thermals also twist when hit by wind from the side. While we were climbing in the thermal that was blown to the side by the wind, we've moved quite far away from the morning glory. The morning glory doesn't just stay in one place either. While the roll shape is rotating, it's moving across the lake. Die müsste sich doch in die gleiche Richtung bewegen, wie ihr gerade mit dem Wind und der Thermal geflogen seid, oder nicht? If we are too far away, catching up to with the glider will be difficult because the glider can only increase its speed by decreasing altitude. Increasing speed. I pushed the control stick forward, pointing the nose downwards. While sliding down on the air, the glider was accelerating. Ooh. When the nose is pointed downwards, the ground always comes into view. Amine-senpai was scared of heights, stifled her screams. Senpai will be fine. This glider will not fall. I'll make sure of that. Yeah. It's falling. In no way. That's not true. It's flying normally. But the altitude is decreasing again. They have left the thermal. In this situation, that might have been a wise decision. Kleines Mädchen, das so random auf dem Morgenspaziergang vorbeikommt. Ah ja, knows all about gliders. Thermal? Hey, what's a thermal? It's nothing. I shouldn't have said that. But like that, they will keep descending. They have to find the next thermal quickly. Da sagt sie schon wieder. Nice. We've caught up with it. But we've lost a lot of altitude. To regain the lost altitude, we searched for the next thermal. Ihr habt doch da eine ganze Reihe an Wolken, oder nicht? Gehen die nicht? In theory, they occur more easily above areas where you can see a lot of soil or wide areas covered in asphalt, such as like parking lots. Such as like. Da ist mindestens ein Füllwort zu viel. Nee, warte. Ja. How about over there? Senpai pointed towards the runway from which we had taken off. It was a wide area of soil lit by the sunlight. It certainly met the conditions that made thermals likely to occur. Alright. Huh? They're coming back? Are they planning to land? Oh no, are they in trouble? Ai-kun, what's wrong? Did something happen? Don't panic, we're just searching for thermals. So, you aren't in trouble? Nope. But at this time it must be hard to find thermals. It would have been great if the clouds appeared above all the right spots. Are there any other signs? The only other thing is to actually try flying into them. But they're so close. Pass me the binoculars. I'll try looking for something. We certainly did get some lift above the runway. But it was weak. It wasn't enough to raise the heavy two-seater glider. It must be because the ground hasn't warmed up enough to create strong thermals. Damn it, aren't there any around here? In the meantime, the glider was gradually descending. Whoa! Ah! Then the wind came. Perhaps due to the influence of the morning glory, the airflow was disturbed. The glider shook when it was hit by the strong wind, and the lift was temporarily reduced, causing a further loss of altitude. I started getting impatient. Should we have stayed over there after all? But if we'd done that... The cloud from before was moving even further away from the direction we wanted to head in. Even if we managed to reach the altitude we needed, we would have been too late. How much time had passed since we took off? We hadn't noticed that the sky got brighter and changed from sunrise to clear light blue. As I thought, it looks like we can't reach it. Amine-senpai mumbled to herself, while gazing at the passage of clouds stretching across the firmament. No, that's not true. It's right in front of us. Yeah, we'll do something about it. Kurtuli and Ageha were also looking for clouds from the ground. We haven't reached the time limit yet.